Hello my friends and welcome back. I am coming on to do a project as part of the guest design team for Jolie kits, and I am working with mixed media kits for a couple months with them. So I had already used a canvas that came with the kit, and what I have left is I have 3 liquid acrylics by Finnabair for Prima, and the colors ochre, carmine, and violet. I also have this gorgeous modeling paste. This stuff is Z-Bomb, a messy paintbrush. This thing is fun to work with. And this stencil, which, oh, here's the cover for my stencil. It is called Manuscript. So we're gonna get into some of the stencil fun later. I have a bunch of these. These are my substrates. It's just a piece of particle board from Home Depot. No big deal. I actually asked for them for a birthday gift from my son because it's a great thing to practice. Doing different kinds of, I have a palette knife, of trying out different mixed media projects on. This is just some white gesso in my stash. I thought I should go ahead and maybe gesso it so that I have a little bit of a surface to work on. Otherwise, I would assume particle board, I haven't used any of these yet. I would assume particle board is extremely porous. So why don't I just get this all gessoed up, and when it's dry, I'll come back and we'll create a project. I've got my gesso on here, and it occurred to me, I just dripped gesso on my carpet, oh gosh. It occurred to me that it might be fun to color a little bit of the gesso. So I'm gonna get some of my ochre because it is an exquisite tone. I popped it right on my palette knife. And let's see if we get some interesting little tones in here. I was thinking of it being like a good color to make a tiny bit of a border to take away a little bit of this supreme whiteness of the gesso. And then I can let it dry. Now, when I am using the palette knife on my gesso, I'm not doing the cleanest uniform application. I like it to be, you know, a tiny bit of like a stucco appeal. Oops, well, that's on there. So I just thought I'd show you that I'm coming in and using my paint called ochre as part of creating a background for whatever I am doing with this. I've got some ideas brewing. I've got some ideas brewing. I think this is going to be a blast to create some artwork with you guys today. Guys, how cool already. All right, I'm loving it. I am loving it. All right, so this is dry-ish. It's fairly dry. It's dry enough that I want to come in with my stencil and just get a little bit of this modeling paste on. I just, want to keep going because I'm having way too much fun. Is the whole reason why. So let's go ahead. Just thought I'd make sure it's at least like in the right direction. Is it in the right direction? Guys, I can't even read it. I mean, it's saying, yes, it is. Okay. So I thought I would do a little bit of work with our nice Finnabair Art Basics, and not super concerned again that it's on there perfectly, because in the pursuit of perfection, I think I would end up disappointed. So let's pull that up. So pretty, guys. Look at how pretty. We are just playing around, making a fun background. And like I've said before, guys, just go for it. This is your time to create. It's your time to do all of the things. And why not experiment? Now, people might end up asking me about these boards. Guys, I got them from, I asked my son to get them from Home Depot. And it's like, it's a 4-foot by 8 foot piece of like a particle board. And it was like 23 bucks or something like that. And then, yeah, you can have Home Depot cut it up for you. You can cut it up for you, whatever you like. Guys, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do in between. And by the way, I was just hitting this with a heat gun. Isn't that just fab texture? So fabulous. So I was thinking about what I might want to do, and we have a mood board. Let's see. And let me bring my laptop over because, you know, that makes sense. So I've got this mood board. Where's the piece I want to see? Do you see that butterfly or moth or whatever it is? I really am feeling some inspiration from it. So what I thought I would do is maybe make a mosaic to go along with that. And then I have chipboard too. So can you imagine the fun we can do? Let me grab some regular old copy paper. And what I thought I could do, because it doesn't need to be any kind of perfection, I thought I would really just use our gorgeous paints. Way too much, guys. This stuff is saturated, but that's right. I'm going to make some puddles of paint on my very fancy palette. My fancy palette is brought to you by the Kit Club Packaging. So let's go ahead and put this down. Now I'm going to grab our handy dandy paintbrush that was part of the mixed media kit. It's okay. I'm going to get it a little bit damp. Little damp. Isn't it great? The brushes are so scruffy. I'm going to get a little water in there. And I'm going to do super simple, no big deal painting on some copy paper, sorry. And I'm gonna do a nice amount. Now I'm wondering, I'm looking at it. I'm gonna do it on this, but I'm also gonna do it, I think, on some watercolor paper or mixed media paper. And the reason why I'm thinking that is I might get some different effects, and I do love to play with all of the things. All right, I'm rinsing, kind of, not great. Let me get a pile of napkins. And then I'm gonna get into that carmine color and get paint on there too. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing on some mixed media paper, let it all dry, and then we're gonna do some collage. Guys, I'm going right on to the mixed media paper with it this time because I know it can handle water, and we're just gonna kind of see what happens. I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be fun because, you know, it's just a piece of paper, so you just do whatever. I've got some water on my brush. Oh, and I like these streakies we're getting through it. That's gonna make it fun. It's gonna make it look painty. Okay, that one's just lovely, I know. A little bit more water. Let's come in with this one. This is the carmine color. It's a very cool color, isn't it? Okay, love that. Let me give it a quick rinse. And then, ooh, saturation, my friends. Saturation. Look at that. Oh, I love it. Okay, we're gonna let all of this dry. Well, I'm actually gonna hit it with a heat gun because I've got to get going on my collage. I think what I'm gonna do for my collage is I'm gonna quickly sketch out a butterfly shape so that I can draw it right on my board and it'll be, you know, a little bit even-ish. I think that's what we'll do. I've got this traced on. I just did a really rough half size of wings on some copy paper, and then I traced it. Easy peasy, right? The next thing I'm going to do after that is I'm going to go ahead with our mixed media happiness right here. I'm going to go ahead and tear this all out so that it looks like torn little pieces of glass or tile or whatnot. Then we can collage. I think it's going to be super fun. All right, y'all, I went ahead and tore up all kinds of these pieces. I want to have the lighter yellow. Do I want it the top or the bottom? Top or the bottom? I think towards the bottom. What do you guys think? If I went like that and went like that, or do I want it more like this? Ooh, I like that contrast. That's rather nice. Okay, so I will have yellow in the middle, this reddish color at the top, and the deep, deep purple at the bottom, which is great because it is nice and heavy. I'm just going to use some regular old matte medium to get these pieces down, and I'm going to collage on here pretty heavily without worrying too much about it. I don't think it'll be perfect. The pieces won't go in perfectly, all that kind of thing. And I am not worried about it at all. So I want the yellow to be on the lower part. So let's go in and kind of create, if you see this, I've got some that are red and yellow. So I liked the idea of there being a bit of a divider for the colors going in. Now this is some pretty heavy paper I used, so it's gonna take a little bit for me to squish it down, and I'll squish it with my hands and all that kind of stuff. But eventually it will go down. I've got this collaged in. I think it's super cute. Might put another skinny little yellow piece here, but I did grab a piece of pattern paper from the card kit because I thought our little buggy bit, mine's gonna be a butterfly. I think it's a moth in the inspiration piece, but I thought this deserved to be this beautiful little stameny body. And we'll add a little bit of paint and this and that to bring it all together. But I love the idea that that one gets to have just a little bit of pattern. So I'm gonna go all around, make sure we have a nice even coat on this. It's got this great texture, guys. It's all goopy and all of that kind of stuff. So like right here, I'm gonna fill in the smallest amount of yellow. Not a big deal, because guys, I can come in here with my paints if something's like bugging me a little bit and I can just fill it in, right? It's not a big deal. But while I'm all goopy, I thought I could come in and get a couple of these little pieces on. How about a little tiny bit of, ooh, red or yellow there? It's like, right, it's a tweener piece right there that we would need. Right there. Guys, my hands are so gross, but it's okay. It's for the betterment of art. This is what happens. All right, so we've got that right there, like that, just a little something. Ooh, and a little bit deeper of a red piece. Wherever my red pile is, I need it, hello. A little bit deeper of a red piece right there, and then this has to get nice and dry. Too thick. I want it pretty darn skinny to go right here. There we go. That's a good piece. All right, guys, that's where we are so far with our fun little mosaic piece. So stinking fun. Guys, it just occurred to me before I dry this too far, I need little stamens, or not stamens, I need little antennas. And I've got these gorgeous, gorgeous pieces here. So I think I'm going to just cut off a piece. Try not to shriek, people. It's gonna be okay. I'll use the rest on something else. Guys, what if I used these amazing floral bits? And if I cut them right at this junction, I will have the most adorable looking little antennas ever. Okay, this is totally happening. I'm going to go ahead and pop these on as well with my matte medium while I'm doing all the drying, guys. Come on now. Isn't it cute? It's so cute. Fun little side note, since I'm putting this on, I'm getting a little bit of a black haze from the chipboard. You know, the little bit of ash that comes when you cut chipboard, and I'm actually using that to spread around my antenna to make it look more in keeping with it being a mixed media piece. Don't shy away from these great little happy accidents. They can only enhance your project, guys. Can you see that nice little haze I'm getting around the antenna? It is perfection. I am loving it. Okay, guys, I'll be back in a bit. This is where things are gonna get even more interesting. This is, I'd say 90% dry, and I think it's super cute and super fun so far, right? This is a 12 by 12 block, by the way. See, it's unfinished on the sides, no big deal. It's just fun stuff to create on. So now I'm gonna take some of our modeling powder, like some meaning a nice size puddle of it. I'm wondering what to mix it with, because I wonder, I need it to stick, right? but I don't need it to create extra color. Let me get maybe clear gesso, for what I am thinking. So hold on. And the reason why this is appealing is because I have a massive bottle of it, so I don't even care. We are going to try something new. Although it might not be new for you guys. It's just new for me. Okay. Yep. This I think is going to be my plan. All right. So I'm going to mix up a nice amount of this. Don't sneeze right now. This powder will go everywhere. And what my thought is, you know, I have the Mosaic. I'm going to see if I can go in and make it kind of mimic cement in between my Mosaic pieces. A bazillion years ago, we used to do these kind of projects with my daughters, you know, where you would do the mosaics and you would put the different colored stones and all that kind of stuff in it. And I thought that this would be a really kind of a fun mimicking kind of project. And the mood board is what kind of inspired this idea. It's going to be a little painstaking. I'm going to be putting it on and then wiping it off of the tile pieces, probably with a baby wipe. So we've got a nice amount of cement mixed up, and I'm going to go across it. And since I left these really big pieces or big spaces in between, I should have room to put in what I'm going to call my cement. See how that's going like that, guys? I'm going to hold it up because I want you to see that it's kind of a nifty, weird little project I'm doing here. And then this is going to give me a nice amount of texture as well. And I do like meat. Y'all, it's working. It is working. It is working. Okay, I'm going to keep going with this and fill it all in. I've got my cement in and I wanted to show you, y'all, it actually looks like cement. It does, it does, it does. So I have to let this dry and then we'll play with a little bit of our paints and finish this project up. I am smitten with how it's coming together. Just smitten.